Gemini is ruled by Mercury. It's about creativity, curiosity, and challenging our beliefs. This is the biggest Mercury soul lesson, is to test our teachings and teachers and make sure they hold up, that they're not just belief systems. So in Gemini, we actually challenge those things, not necessarily in a bad way, but we just experiment and say, is this really true? I don't know. I've been told this, I've been told to believe this, but is it true? That creates authentic intelligence, because it might actually be true, but it's not really a part of our paradigm of intelligence unless we have figured it out for ourselves, and figured it out through our own unique paradigm of intelligence. If that's not the case, then we're just repeating other people's words and believing them to be true, which is very much, that's what's called dogma. Even if it is true, if we can't explain it and we don't understand it on our own terms, it's not going to ring authentic. Not just with others, but with ourselves. So when people say, well, I know this, but I just can't explain it, I just can't put it into words, they don't really know it. Because anything you really know, you can explain. And you can explain through your own paradigm of understanding, because it comes through your own paradigm of experience. This is authentic intelligence. And that's what Gemini is all about, gathering experience about things that we've heard about. And then we're like, you know what, this really does make sense, but here's how it really works for me. And then we can explain it, and then it becomes wisdom that we can share, authentic wisdom that benefits other people. If it's just something that we believe in and then we just kind of parrot our teacher and we don't really understand it, that's okay, but it's not really, then our experiences or our belief in that thing is not really going to benefit others very much. Then we're just talking about things in a second-hand way, and if people want to really know the truth of the thing, they need to go to the source. But when our wisdom, or what we believe in, becomes wisdom that is authentic, that can help others, it's because it's also been run through the Gemini paradigm of intelligence. So this is what Gemini is about. And it's opposite Sagittarius. Sagittarius is that other thing that we just believe in something. So this is how the opposites work. So we're in the Gemini cycle right now, and so this whole idea of Gemini for the next month or so will be very important. And today is the day when the moon and sun actually start that cycle. So moon is in Ardra nakshatra today. Ardra is ruled by Lord Shiva, who is the one who brings about big change and transformation by being able to question that paradigm. Really, that's really what Shiva is about. He's sort of the naked ascetic. He's kind of revolutionary in the world. He's not really of the world. So Ardra nakshatra has to do with that. And there can be some explosive events. There might be some things like some earthquakes or floods or some cataclysmic natural events on Tuesday, because Tuesday's ruled by Mars, and also the moon is in Ardra nakshatra. So the other thing is, as I said, it's the first lunar day, Shukla Pratipad. Pratipad is related to Lord Brahma, the creator, and it's what initiates that cycle that I just discussed. So you look at where the moon is, and you look at the energy of that initiation of the cycle, and now it's Pratipad with the moon in Ardra, and this gives you, well, actually, the cycle was initiated with the moon in Mrigashira, so that was the moment. But this first lunar day, this is the first day where we're actually initiating the Gemini cycle. So the moon is waxing now, and so you want to do things that that bring about this, this beginning of questioning a paradigm. So now is a month where you want to question a certain paradigm of authority, a certain structure, something you believe in but you haven't really investigated. That's what Gemini is about. And no holds barred. No sacred cows. Nothing is too sacrosanct for Gemini to say, I'm not sure, let me see. Let me see what it's like if I do exactly the opposite. That's often what Gemini is about. Okay, here's what's said, now let me see, what about the exact opposite? So Gemini is about being able to manage and handle paradox. This is what Gemini does. It's literally the sign of a man and a woman. A very masculine man, a very feminine woman. That's what Gemini is. So it's not two little kids playing like in Western astrology. That's quality of it. But just like, we have a little inner child inside, but when we mature, we're a grown man and a woman. So it's a very masculine man and a very feminine woman. That's the sort of culmination of Gemini. So within it, there's playful children, but it's really about, if the macho man says this, what does the feminine woman say? The feminine woman says this is all beautiful. What about if I, take a club and start beating on it? This is, it's a man with a club and a woman with a musical instrument. So this is the paradox of Gemini, and it's about managing paradox and flowing with it, and eventually seeing how everything has its place, and everything needs to be challenged. Everything needs to be beaten with a club and then turned into beautiful music. Sort of. It's a very, very dynamic section of the zodiac. It's where the plane of the galaxy runs. So I'm doing this webcast on Gemini this week, and you should come and see it, because I'm going to be talking about this paradox of Gemini through spiritual traditions and everything else. And it's really important. All the signs are important, but Gemini and Sagittarius are real important for all the cultures, in that they have to do with the plane of the galaxy. Adam and Eve is basically the Gemini story. The hero twins in the Mayan myth has to do with Gemini, as well as the churning of the milk ocean and the demons and the asuras in Vedic myth, and all of you see this duality of life comes through Gemini. Gemini is like the archetype of duality, and we live in a world of duality. So it's really important in understanding duality. So this is the cycle that we're in for the next 30 days.